All right, welcome to another day of Ether Race. This is Friday, right after my Summer Rules run, and we're taking on Wombo here. This name looks familiar, but don't know who it is exactly. But this is a not a match that we won. I'm gonna tell you right now, I tried, and like I said, Mortis is just that guy. Winter for Mortis is really, really top tier in terms of being a far save. Close second to the Snakes. Still think he's far better than Hector. It's just that Hector has really valuable fodder potential. But For Mortis is still just goated in terms of being able to far save, or maybe near save if you want to do that with him. Whichever role that you want him to fill, he does it extremely well. Wonder how he performs with Armored Blaze as a set instead, but this was the best team that I could come up with to try to get through. Ultimately, it did not work, but I'll show you just, some of the strategies or shenanigans that I tried to get up to just to try to break through the defensive barrier that is this For Mortis here. Hardy Fighter, Hardy Fighter, pretty much that's all it is, plus support from Ather and Rhea in the back there. Now, the key thing here is, well, to start off with, just getting out of the way so that I didn't get sniped by Sigurd or Claude, who is a fraud still. Claude's a fraud. Just gonna throw that out there again. But yeah, because of Lorather here, I couldn't really use any of my tanking strategies, although I did have one particular idea in mind. I just didn't really have the slightest clue how I would get it off, which it was going to be, I would somehow get Neathhogger up there and block Claude, and then I'd get Sita on the other side and block Lorather, and then it should work. I don't know. But that was one of the plans. But I had no idea how I'd get that to work, so we went with this strategy instead, thinking that Chrom should have it. I mean, blue versus red, Chrom should be able to win this hands down, win sweep, so we don't have to worry about getting hit.
Sounds like fun.
So yeah, I didn't really see a lot of negatives with going in with this strategy, but lo and behold, For Mortis is again just that guy. He is him. He's definitely Gojo in this situation. We just were not able to get through him at all. So so I was still going through it. Did a couple of things here. Ended up in turn 2. And yeah, it just wasn't happening still. Turn 2 was when Chrom would really get his stuff up and running. But as you can see there, even with all of the support here and the drives, still not cutting it. I'm gonna pop the reposition to get the bonus doubler here in a second. But you'll see that it doesn't really change anything. Really what the bonus doubler does is that it cleanses his penalties and gives him some additional stats and stuff. I opted here to go for some additional Hexblade and, all the status buffs that I have on the team, or as many as I can get together to see if it would make a difference, but still just not getting through For Mortis here. Really what it's boiling down to is the fact that For Mortis has so much pierceable DR, and it's just on top of, so when you combo that with Shield Fighter, yeah, it really makes him way tankier than it appears that he is. So even with everything that I got going on here, you see 99 times 4. The problem is that I'm just hitting into Shield Fighter 3 times, and then on the last hit, I'm hoping to get the Deadeye. And it's just not doing anything because I have the preempt pulse, so it's changing when my Deadeye hits. So I'm only getting it, I think, on the 3rd hit instead of the last hit, and that's not good. So here we go, turn 3, we've made some adjustments, moving out of the way so we didn't get the Desperation or the Preempt Pulse status effects, and the plan here is just to break the flat damage reduction that For Mortis is getting from Ather. So we attack here with Thor, and then we're going to see what additional or what the damage looks like afterwards. It's already a loss at this point because there's no way to get Thor back. I'm just doing this at this point just to see if I can actually get through with Crom. Again, for Mortis, he has a lot of flat damage reduction from Shield Fighter stacked on top of pierceable damage reduction. I think about 80% or so. And as you can see here, I'm getting the Deadeye on the third hit, which is actually doing damage, but not enough to really matter. And also, because I've wasted 2 actions already, it's making for Mortis even tankier. He has the Shield Session in his A skill, I think it is. The better version of Shield Session, where it actually works when the opponent ends their turn. You start off with nothing and then you gain more bulk each time they take an action. And this is how you know it's bad, when you start reading skills just to make sure that the skills are actually going to work. This is how you know that you've probably already lost in an Ather raid session here. And that's what's going on. So Lynn is utterly useless here because bad matchup for her. Regardless of hitting 5 times or 4 or 3, it doesn't matter. She just can't get through this for Mortis. Crom here, we're still doing damage, but a lot of my support is up the map now with Cordelia gone. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Just can't get through this for Mortis, so that's GG's. Let's try another one. Alright, so here is our second attempt, and this one is against PK. This was a rematch. He had a really stacked team, and immediately when I saw this, when I rematched, and I was like, man, this is not going to go my way, because you can see the Alfonse here in the top corner, supported by everything that's going on there. Primarily the fact that there's a Larather there as well, another Larather, which is, again, annoying, but this is probably the only configuration that I can try to get this to work. Sita is the only one in this season that I have with no counter disrupt echo. I haven't blessed any of my other units for Astra season with this in mind, because I don't expect to see Tree Man over here in this season. So yeah, the big problem here he is, Sir Beefs a lot himself, Beefy McRib. With the interesting B skill here that gives him, I think this is better than having reopening, because he already has so much bulk. He's not, I mean, if he's getting doubled, he's probably dead. So I feel like, why not just go with, try to pierce some damage reduction with, well, he already pierces damage reduction with his special. So I don't know, but I think it's better than reopening, and slightly better in my opinion. These are the stuff that we're working with here. And my biggest concern was trying to find a way to not get my range units affected by assigned decoy, so that Neathhogger could actually act as a far save. And also I wanted to get out of the range of Ather, because I didn't want to get inflicted with the deep wounds effect. So we're going to go up to where the breakable block is and figure it out from there. And then this team really is just for this season. So how this team works is that it's supported by Marissa, who, I think I've said this before, very interesting unit. I don't like her as a, I don't know, like, you really want to keep her safe because she's incredibly squishy for how she reminds me a lot of Katria. Where you have to really protect Katria so that you don't lose that status effect. It's the same thing with this Marissa. She has better combat than Katria though, and I guess it's to be expected of where we are in the current stage of the game. Again, love the fact that it's not a status effect, it's a drive, and it's such a far range, and you're going to see something that I didn't pick up on initially when I saw her come out, get released, whatever the case is. I didn't pick up on it, and I thought that was actually pretty clutch or neat for just future reference. I'm going to show you when it comes up in a minute. And then we got Peony here providing additional support and hopefully some additional healing to Sita here. Let's see how it pans out. And yeah, I initially thought that I had thrown this one because Saline is able to warp to Neathhogger and attack, and I thought that Veil or say my Saline would have gotten hit with a Sign Decoy, but they're actually out of the range of it impacting them, which is not something I found out until we got into the combat. I was just like, man, whatever, let's see what happens. Another good thing was that Flash, she didn't get hit with Flash. So my conclusion is that either Sita didn't get hit with the assigned decoy, or I don't know, it was cleansed by Saline. I feel like Sita didn't get hit. I feel like it went to I'm gonna put you'll see in a minute, I'm gonna put Marissa in a position that would potentially have her exposed, or closer in range. I don't know, I didn't really count spaces. That could have been it. But also, it could just have been Saline. I really didn't pay attention. But in any case, for the melee matchup, Sita would have become the assigned decoy target, because she has lower defenses than Neathhogger, which is how the team is designed to be. It's set up that way on purpose. They just partner really well together, especially with Veil. But Veil is not going to win any res checks against this plus 10 maxed out Alfonse. Also, Sita does not win against Alfonse when he has support or when he's this highly invested. I just want to put that out there. So this was really just an attempt to see if we could survive. Because Alfonse is getting DR halving, he's getting a lot of support there from the enemy Neathhogger, as well as additional support from flat damage reduction. He's getting a lot of stuff, so he's just going to be doing a ton. And I was just hoping to see 1v1, or not really 1v1, but support versus support, whether or not Sita would be able to survive. And here goes the combat. And we're getting the drive quad from Marissa. Unfortunately, it is not enough to take out this Alfonse. We do a ton of damage, but my man lives, and it is insane how bulky he is. And we really needed to get that kill, and then this was a big cause for concern, but turned out to only be 5 damage. No follow-up really making the difference there, because we are not going to be healing. We put on an onslaught, but again, close but no dice. And it's from there that you can probably guess that this was not going to be a win, because our main carry is crippled, and outside of healing tower range. No healer, not a lot of options in terms of how to heal her up. And worst case, Alfonse is going to get healed by the opponent's healing tower. And I have no real way, as you can see, of beating him. Or as you saw, of beating him. And then now we got everyone shuffling over, got hit with the Null Miracle, or the deep wounds. Alfonse is going to get healed, dying to Neathhogger, also debuffed severely. I don't have the buffs that I had last turn, which is, the Veil support primarily. Nothing is happening here. Like, enemy Neathhogger is just surviving, and I can't attack from anywhere, once moved, because zero, there you go, and I die if I move. So not a good situation here. And the key thing here that I wanted to point out is the fact that Sita is still getting the Brave effect, even though she is no longer the highest HP unit on the field. Meaning that it is starting HP and not if you're injured. There are some skills that, like Wings of Mercy, or I don't know, Desperation, some skills that just don't work. Some skills that have HP conditions don't work once your HP threshold drops. But Marissa here, it's your starting HP, so whoever starts the match with the most HP is getting the support, and it doesn't change regardless of whether or not they take damage. It's unless that unit leaves the field because they get defeated, then it will change. I was thinking it would have changed to Neathhogger, who has the second highest, but it did not. Sita still was hitting the quad. unfortunately, it really wasn't amounting to much. My plan here was to then hit the enemy Neathhogger and then get, what's that status effect? Full penalty doubler, to see if that made a difference in terms of damage output. We've cleansed our penalties, and we're going to be able to heal now, since I'm no longer inflicted with deep wounds because of Peony's dance, which is fantastic. Peony's a really great support on this team, although I wish I didn't have to bring her. I wish I had someone else that could give me as many stats as Seteth does, but again, there's only one Seteth. Maybe if Seteth was here, it would have turned out, in my favor. That's a lot of additional attack stats that he would have given out, as opposed to Peony here. Although I probably would have done more damage if Peony was closer. I just didn't want to risk having Peony become the near save, which is actually what will happen. You will see in a minute or so, because I can't get her to safety.
As you say.
So yeah, I can't move Peony out of the way. She's literally stuck there. I could try to reposition her out, but Marissa would also then get stuck within Alfonse's range. Neathhogger has the Silica Ring. The enemy Neathhogger has the Silica Ring, so she can warp to pretty much any of my units here, which is, again, not great. I was really counting on Sita to take her out, but when she has support with Neathhogger, she becomes a lot tankier, and then also Alphonse prompts great talent, so those are some extra stats to her defense. So just not looking great for me. And I think Sita also has like a 25% HP condition, so she's just not at full power. Still very, very close to winning that matchup. That much being said, you can see here that we're getting back to almost full health with this combat now, because we're healing on every hit, and I think so, and we're hitting 4 times, so that's a lot of healing that's going on there. But unfortunately, Neathhogger is also healing from these combats as well, so it's not making that much of a difference. And also, she has Ather support, so yeah. Again, another tanky defense. I want to say that this would have worked without Lorather here. You could have ran a different unit. You could have ran a dancer or something else, and still, come out with the victory here. It does make it a little bit more complicated, but not necessary to run Tree Man here. I feel like the biggest problem on this team is Alphonse. If you're surprised by that. The problem is he's so bulky that if he just ran an extra mythic and just increased Alphonse bulk, there aren't that many units that can take him out in like a counterattack kind of way. You're looking at like Malice, you're looking at
a festival, huh?
The new Raphael from the banner that just dropped with Runaka. He could probably do a job against this Alphonse, but yeah, the list is not very long in terms of enemy phase in Alphonse and him losing. He gets so much damage reduction when he attacks, and he's already support from Hector here, Neathhogger. He's just not dying. He really didn't need to run Tree Man here. This was overkill. This was one of those win more options, and it did work. So I can't really knock it here. The defense did what it was supposed to do, and I'm just not gonna get anything out of Marissa here. I should have swapped her special from Gale Force for this team, because she doesn't get the benefit of it on this configuration. You're going to see Peony here dying because she got inflicted with a Sign Decoy. Couldn't move her, unfortunately. So, bye-bye Peony. It would have been interesting to see if Sita would have lived another round of combat against Alphonse, but there you go. Gaps open. Neathhogger does Neathhogger things, and you just watch the chaos. Nothing else that you can do but watch and enjoy, and or don't enjoy, depending on how you feel about seeing your team get wiped. But yeah, this is another really well-built defense. There's 2 of them so far this week, which is I don't know, rare. I don't get 2 back-to-back that often, so it's good to see that people are still taking Ether 8's defense seriously, and I'm not the only one out here. So yeah, Hector here smashing me in the face, but not quite getting the double, which is interesting. I thought he would have gotten a guarantee. Well, I guess it's maybe only just enemy phase that he gets his guaranteed follow-up, or maybe he lost the speed check there, I don't know, but that's pretty much it. 3 units left. Well, 4 units, but none of them can actually do anything, and this is not a great position to be in here, so you can already imagine what comes next. Where is the surrender button? Get me out of here.